Coming up, Thailand Tzu Chi volunteers comfort the 36 families displaced by a recent fire in Bangkok. To celebrate the Mid-Autumn Festival, Hualien Tzu Chi volunteers order mooncakes from disadvantaged groups in Taiwan. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. Thank you for joining us. On August 27th, a fire broke out in a community in Bangkok, Thailand. The blaze destroyed 20 homes, displacing 36 families. 2 days later, Tzu Chi volunteers arrived to deliver condolence cash to affected families. Taiwan Tzu Chi University students, who were also in Thailand at the time, came along to offer their support.
Through a sign language performance, students from Taiwan Tzu Chi University expressed their support to fire victims in this community in Bangkok, Thailand.
We will remember that you came to help us. I will read the brochure you gave me to better understand Tzu Chi. Tzu Chi volunteers and students who came here today are adorable. They have touched our heart.
I have a new understanding now. We see that residents here in Thailand have a loving heart, and they don't complain a lot either.
2 days after the fire, Tzu Chi offered some $47 to each affected households. Though Tzu Chi's financial support is temporary, its love and care is everlasting.
Following a traumatic event, the scars of emotional trauma without proper care and attention can last a lifetime, even long after the physical scars have healed. In our next report, we take a look at how Kaohsiung residents are coping with their distress and anxiety 1 month after the blast.
你去想象，你如果站在路中间，被一辆高速行驶的大卡车瞬间撞上，
我走出去就蹦了。
你的身体跟心灵刹那间碎成很多很多的碎片，
蹦起来一时，我转直接垮掉。
他们的重建之路其实就像要把这些碎片重新粘合起来一样，那样的辛苦。
Construction crews are hard at work repairing the damaged roads. Just how powerful were the explosions? That evening, homes tucked away in the alleys behind the main street were not spared by flying rubble.
All I knew at the time was that the steel frame and calcium silicate boards fell over. But when I went inside, I saw huge pieces of cement rubble that had blasted into our home from Sandor Road. They were this big.
The roof deck was completely destroyed. Even the second floor sustained structural damage.
The door frame on the 3rd floor was damaged, and this crack extends all the way from the top.
Sheng, who was on the 2nd floor at the time, was left in shock.
As I walked here, all of a sudden, I hear a loud bang. It wasn't thunder, it was a deafening sound. Then an object flew at me and hit me on the head.
My mom was very traumatized by the incident. She hasn't been eating well nor sleeping well since the blasts. We don't know what to do. We want to take her to the doctor because we're really worried about her condition.
Talking about the ordeal has not been able to ease Mrs. Ling's feeling of shock and vulnerability. This is because she's suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder.
Look, my hands are still trembling. I can't make it stop.
Psychologists say while treatment for psychological trauma can vary from person to person, what's most helpful for someone with PTSD is conveying empathy and support.
During my sessions with them, I reminded myself that I have to be non-judgmental and empathic towards their situation. I want them to know that I am understanding of their situation and I am very willing to accompany them, listen to them, and support them every step of the way.
These feelings of fear often stem from physical trauma. Car rental shop owner Wu Qingyuan experienced a near-death encounter.
At around midnight, I went out to move my car. As soon as I went to the garage, I was caught up in a blast.
Wu Qingyuan has absolutely no recollection of what happened during the blasts. All he can remember is waking up in a trench. By that time, someone had already notified his wife that there is a possibility her husband was buried beneath the rubble.
When we were evacuated to Yingming Road, I just knelt down and prayed for the Buddha to find my husband, even if it meant giving up years of my life in exchange for his safety.
With her husband's whereabouts unknown, Wu Qingyuan's wife was overwhelmed with anxiety. It wasn't until she received a call from her husband, who was at the hospital, that her worries were finally laid to rest.
I'm a nurse at Kaohsiung Hospital, so I often witness life and death, but it was in that moment that I truly realized just how impermanent life is.
As if time has come to a standstill following the blasts, the wall calendar at home still remains on July 31st. Their children's happy smiles in the family portraits are what gets this couple through their most difficult days.
If road repairs aren't complete, then our lives can return to normal. I really hope to see these repairs completed by the end of the year.
Apart from finding a solution for their livelihood, the scars of emotional trauma also need proper care and attention.
I really hope that the public sector can take more initiative. We should help families affected by the accident, whether individually or as a group, and provide long-term support and assistance.
As the journey to recovery is long and tough, what these residents need most is more support, continued company, as well as unfaltering love and care.
Next, we meet Tzu Chi volunteer Liu Xixing, who since the time of the Kaohsiung gas explosions has devoted his time to serving residents affected by the incident. However, the long hours and stress have weakened Liu's immune system, causing him to develop shingles. Liu says being able to serve others is his blessing. Hence, even in spite of his illness, all he feels is joy and contentment.
The instant rice goes there. These are for the residents.
The minute the aid supplies arrive, Liu Xixing immediately delegates tasks to his team. In the days following the Kaohsiung explosions, Tzu Chi established a service station near the blast site, and as Lingya District Tzu Chi team leader, Liu temporarily set his work aside to fully devote his time and energy to serving residents there.
Each morning, I'm here before the other volunteers arrive, and in the evenings, when the brothers and sisters have gone home, I stay behind to tidy up.
Working in the blast area for more than 12 hours on end each day, the long hours and stress wreaked havoc on Liu's immune system, causing him to develop shingles on his forehead. Despite his discomfort, however, Liu continued to press forward with a joyous heart.
It would be a lie to say that I'm not tired, but when I think of how fortunate we are to be safe from harm, it makes me happy to serve others.
Only once the mission was successfully concluded did Liu go to the hospital. The doctor immediately admitted him for further treatment.
This is my responsibility and my mission. As a team leader, I have to make sure I see things through to the end.
Entrusting his health in the hands of doctors and himself to the Buddha, looking back over the past month, Liu says he has no regrets. Instead, being able to serve the greater good has made all his efforts worthwhile.
Tzu Chi volunteer Xu Mingquan of Tainan was involved in an auto accident on August 17th and was later pronounced brain dead. To help the many burn victims of the Kaohsiung gas explosions and to honor him, his family decided to donate his corneas and skin.
Tzu Chi volunteer Xu Mingquan of Tainan had an auto accident on August 17th while making his way to Xinhua recycling station. He was pronounced brain dead by the 19th. After learning his organs can be donated, his family gladly made the sacrifice.
For those who need the transplants, this is very important. We also feel for the Kaohsiung gas blast victims.
My father-in-law is doing this to honor his son and for the sake of society. His corneas and skin will be donated.
As the family was caught off guard by the sudden tragedy, volunteers and even Dharma masters from Hualien have come together to offer their support and company.
My son, my Mingquan, will live on in my heart forever. I'd be lying to say I am not heartbroken, but I will try to remind myself to be there for my daughter-in-law and my grandchildren.
He was devoted and humble.
Though he was the quiet type, his work was solid.
I believe he will soon return and join us in serving Tzu Chi's missions.
Xu Mingquan received his certification in 2008 and had devoted himself to all of Tzu Chi's missions. As fellow volunteers paid their tribute at his funeral, they also prayed that he will return to walk the Bodhisattva path again.
On September 3rd, Chen Tuanzhi from Xiamen, China, underwent a 7th surgery to treat the deformity of her knees. The purpose of the surgery was to readjust the rotation angle of Tuanzhi's right foot. With the help of Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital Honorary Superintendent Chen Yinghe and his team, Tuanzhi is now one step closer to walking properly.
I believe in Honorary Superintendent Chen. I believe him, so I am not afraid at all.
It is her trust in Honorary Superintendent Chen Yinghe that gives Chen Tuanzhi the strength to overcome her fears. Since March of this year, Chen has been receiving treatment at the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital in Taiwan. Facing her 7th surgery, Chen Tuanzhi and the medical team are full of confidence.
She has been practicing walking and standing with her right foot. We discovered that if we can readjust the angle of her right foot a bit more, she will walk better in the future.
Under the leadership of Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital Honorary Superintendent Chen Yinghe, Chen Tuanzhi is undergoing another operation to treat the deformity of her right foot. Despite this being the 2nd surgery on the same foot, medical staff still proceed with extra caution.
We're planning to increase the angle of her right foot. By doing so, more of her foot will touch the ground. Our ultimate goal is to help her walk and stand properly.
With experience from previous surgeries, the operation went smoothly. By looking at an X-ray image of Chen's foot, one can see that another 30-degree of readjustment has been made. After wrapping Tuanzhi's foot in plaster, the surgery is officially completed.
The conditions of her joint are very good. She will be able to practice walking and standing again in about 2 weeks.
Listening closely to Honorary Superintendent Chen Yinghe's explanation, Tuanzhi's mother finally breaks into a smile. Although the road to recovery for Chen is still very long, with rehabilitation, she's one step closer to her dream of walking on her own 2 feet.
People searching for jobs online usually create a standard resume and submit it to any opening they find interesting. However, such practice is no better than shooting without aiming, as employers will think the applicants are half-hearted and simply discard their applications. In today's series on finding a job for college grads, we give you some tips on finding that dream job.
5 years ago, Ben Southall of the United Kingdom arrived in the Great Barrier Reef with his girlfriend to become its caretaker. He managed to beat 35,000 other contestants from around the world and won the best job in the world. However, this job was a lot more demanding than he had thought. In the end, not only did his girlfriend leave him, Ben also nearly died after being stung by a jellyfish. So young people should be more practical and grounded as they look for a job. Ling Junzhe, who now works as a manager at Feng Tai Enterprise, was hired just 3 years ago. In 3 years, Ling became a manager and tripled his salary. It is all because he made a good impression during his interview.
Before coming here, I researched on the internet to let my employer know that I was willing to learn and work as a team. I also wanted them to know that I'm outgoing and spirited.
Identifying with company culture can help leave a good impression on an employer. Just what other qualities do employers like?
I started out as an assistant and took on more labor-intensive jobs. After I completed my janitorial duties, I had to help clean up the cafeteria. Some people say if you don't like your job after working for 1 to 2 years, then you should find a new one. But I think it's the time that you have just made an impression on your supervisor. You shouldn't just say, "This isn't for me."
and get up and leave. I think it's better to stick it out a bit longer and give yourself a chance.
Employers tend to shy away from candidates who change their job often.
We want someone who will commit themselves to the company. We don't want someone who just wants to try things out for a year or two. No way do we want that.
Employers will also explore a candidate's personality during the interview.
寄了几份履历出去？
大概将近80家公司了。
已经寄了80家公司了，就对。OK， 好。
Though candidates want to increase their chance of finding a job by applying to many companies, employers disapprove of such practices. Also, job seekers tend to send out one standardized form of resume.
Candidates who prepared only one type of resume for all companies, instead of tailoring each resume to each specific job, will not do well.
Studies show that, on average, a new graduate sends out 166 resumes before landing an interview. But this is not because there are not enough jobs, but because employers simply discard half-hearted applications.
I don't like candidates who are simply shopping around. I only want to reward those who really want the job. So you should let me know if you are ready and if you understand my company.
Employers want the right people, while new graduates want the right job. By finding a common ground, a win-win situation can be achieved.
With the Mid-Autumn Festival coming up, Tzu Chi volunteers from Hualien recently placed orders for mooncakes from disadvantaged groups in Taiwan, which were later distributed to care recipients. Meanwhile, dietitians at Taiwan Tzu Chi Hospital suggest that people eat no more than one mooncake per day, as they are high in calories.
捏紧哦，然后再把它搓圆，好吗？这样哦，对。
Residents of this care center are busy preparing the filling for mooncakes ordered by Tzu Chi volunteers. It is a job through which residents find an opportunity to contribute to society.
We are happy to have this opportunity to work with everyone, to help others while helping ourselves. All these mooncakes are made with much patience and love.
The mooncakes are filled with fresh ingredients without the use of preservatives. All the cakes are handmade and prepared with much love and care.
I hope they will like it.
Tzu Chi volunteers order mooncakes from a total of 5 disadvantaged groups.
By doing so, the 5 groups can form good affinities with our care recipients and continue the cycle of love.
These are mooncakes for Mid-Autumn Festival. We wish you a speedy recovery. Be happy, okay? Do your rehabilitation, okay?
By sending mooncakes to care recipients, Tzu Chi volunteers are also delivering their blessings ahead of Mid-Autumn Festival. Although mooncakes and pomelo are popular foods during Mid-Autumn Festival, however, the public should be moderate in their consumption.
I would recommend that people share mooncakes with their family members. By doing so, we will be able to try out different flavors while reducing calorie intake.
Dietitians point out that one should not eat more than one mooncake or more than 1/3 of a pomelo per day. While outdoor barbecuing is also popular during the festival, dietitians suggest replacing meat with vegetables or cook with boiling water instead.
Place 100 grams of pomelo in a blender and add 50 cc of fruit vinegar, 8 grams of cooked white sesame, 50 cc of water, and then blend it together.
还有50 cc 的冷开水，把食材加入之后。
On the right side is a sesame sauce selling in the market that counts to 250 calories. On the left side is a self-made pomelo vinegar sauce that only has 30 to 50 calories. Remember to adopt a low-calorie, low-sugar, and low-fat diet during this holiday and have fun while staying healthy.
In Thailand, Tzu Chi volunteers held a floral arrangement class at the Tzu Chi Bangkok chapter, where students not only learned how to create beautiful floral compositions, but also the dharma behind it. Meanwhile, Tzu Chi volunteers in Austin, Texas of the United States promoted vegetarianism by holding a fruit carving course.
Using bananas to make dolphins for fruit platters, in Austin, Texas, former restaurant owner and Tzu Chi volunteer Chen Zhifeng demonstrates how to cut fruit into beautiful shapes.
Don't be in a hurry, slowly, be patient.
Next, the students get to practice carving on their own. Through the course, Tzu Chi volunteers also encourage everyone to adopt vegetarianism and thus a healthy lifestyle. While in Thailand at the Tzu Chi Bangkok chapter, volunteers held a floral arrangement course, where students range from housewives to the men of the house.
From today's floral arrangement, I could see my own greediness. The teacher explained we need to let go of our desires and learn to be content, not to use too many materials at once. Simplicity is the most beautiful.
Some children also tagged along with their mothers to learn how to settle their hearts and immerse themselves in the serenity of the floral arrangement.
One part of the floral arrangement represented parents' unconditional love for their children, while the other part symbolizes the children's filial piety. Both pieces should be balanced.
Regardless of how they look, projects made with heart and effort are the most beautiful.
Tzu Chi has long worked to forward its education mission in Indonesia. Along those lines, in March 2013, the Buddhist charity began an expansion of its school in Jakarta with the addition of a new high school division. The addition is scheduled to be ready by July 2015, which will be just in time to accept the first graduating class of the elementary school division.
A lift position on the main building of the new Tzu Chi High School lifts the load of materials to the top of the building, completing the building's topping off ceremony.
Today, Tzu Chi volunteers and generous people in society are doing something for the future of these students. We will tell the students of the school that it was made possible by the generosity of many kind-hearted people. We cannot let the stream of love run dry. The younger generation must pick up the baton and pass it on.
About 600 people are here for the topping off ceremony, including the construction team, Tzu Chi volunteers, and faculty and students of the elementary school division.
I have two kids. One is in the 5th grade and the other in the 6th grade. The elder one will be among the first to graduate from the school. After studying here for 3.5 years, my kids have made much progress.
Back in July 2011, the school's kindergarten and elementary school division first began taking students. Construction began for the new middle and high school division last March. The main building, about 5.5 hectares in total area, will be 7 stories tall and house 60 classrooms. After the topping off ceremony, the guests next take a tour of the new building and are encouraged to support the school by purchasing roof tiles.
I like Tzu Chi's humanitarian education very much, as it helps correct children's behavior and establishes a positive mindset in them, which enables them to maintain a positive attitude as they grow up.
The construction is scheduled to be completed by the end of the year, after which interior decoration will begin, so that the new school will be ready by July 2015.
To celebrate 4 years of helping to keep the planet clean, Tzu Chi volunteers in Malaysia's Johor Bahru purchased saffers and volumes for the surrounding community members and the shops of an evening recycling point. We will leave you with these images at the end of the show. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.